What's up, everyone? Adamo here from FGC Behind the Smoke. Today we have Sachin back on, our boy. For all of you repeat listeners, you know that Sachin was on here before and he was training for a run across Canada to raise money for various charities. At first, it started with like veterans and first responders, but then you kind of expanded from there, right?
hmm
What were some of the other charities?
So, Wounded Warriors Canada, obviously veterans and first responders,
Yeah.
Canadian Men's Health Foundation, and Jack.org, um, Their Opportunity. That's four, right? And then one
Yep.
more. Uh, but Together We Can.
Okay, cool.
So Together We Can it's an facility and recovery facility. So it's based in Vancouver. So
Nice.
they support and help people get off addictions and whatnot. Jack.org is a youth charity that focuses on peer-to-peer support for
Nice.
mental health for kids or
Nice.
kids and anywhere up until 26, 27.
Okay, cool.
And then Their Opportunity is a youth-focused charity for kids, underprivileged kids, getting them to sports and activities and things like that. So
Nice.
I wanted to kind of address it from a holistic perspective. Obviously, veterans and first responders is where I started. But obviously over the last few years, I recognized that everyone's struggling, right?
Yeah.
So I thought if I'm going to run across Canada, let's include more people, and especially also the Canadian Men's Health Foundation. I think men these days are struggling a lot more than perhaps people are recognizing. So
Yeah, dude.
I thought it would be another sort of space to kind of address that issue.
I think that's huge, man. I actually we had Seb on not too long ago, and him and I had a good discussion about, masculinity and kind of what's going on in today's day, with men's mental health and stuff, things that were, I kind of feel were ignored for a long time and kind of dismissed. And so I'm glad that you brought that up because I think that's huge, man. And the fact that also you were dealing with a charity that's dealing with younger kids as well, like you said, youth up to, mid 20s kind of thing. That's huge, man, right? And like also trying to get, underprivileged kids into sports, right? Because if you look at the statistics, like younger kids, like when they're in their teens, kind of, who are, come from like kind of I don't want to say a rougher background, but like, more underprivileged background, are more likely to get involved in drugs, are more likely to get addicted to, certain things. They're more likely to get involved in gangs and stuff like that, right? And I think that stems from a lack of positive role models, right? So an organization like that, I mean, that's huge, dude. That's,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're an awesome group of people too. It's not a huge charity; it's a smaller one. It's based in Ontario, but they service all of Canada.
nice.
And yeah, I mean, I got along well with everyone that works there too, man. They were super awesome and very supportive of the run itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for me, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah, for
If we're
sure.
gonna do the thing across the country, we got to include as many people as we can. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. Before we get too far ahead here, we now have gift
yeah.
for our
There
guest.
we
So there's
go.
a behind the smoke
Wicked, man.
hat and yeah, man.
How's that work?
Looks great, man. Looks
Let
great.
me fix that up.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
listen, man, I think what you guys I've been tracking. You guys have been like keep it, getting after it and consistent and
Yeah, we've
speaking to the right people
for
and all that
sure,
kind of stuff.
yeah. We're really hoping like if anybody's gonna take anything out of this podcast, it's just gonna be some motivation and we're hoping to set like a good example as to, what a first responder should be, like getting into the jobs for the right reasons and stuff like that. And that's why I feel it's so important to have somebody like you as a guest come on, right? Like such a huge role model in society and just like the stuff that you've been able to accomplish, I think is huge, right? And also, from our last episode, how open you were about talking about your mental health, kind of troubles that you went through and just having that open dialogue too, I think is huge. And yeah, it's been good, man. Like we've been growing and it's it's luckily we have Francesco because if we didn't have him, we'd be screwed. But
Yeah, I mean, it takes a team, right?
it does, man. There's so much behind the scenes stuff that we didn't even realize when we got into this, right? And it's time consuming, but you know what, dude, it's so rewarding. Like we have people message us on Instagram all the time being like, "Hey, your podcast really helped me. Like, choose the right direction I wanted to go in when it comes to, which first responder job I wanted, or, your podcast really helped me with my interview. We had a guy actually message us the other day. He's like, my first interview I ever had, he's like, I failed it. But after listening to your podcast, I re-interviewed with that same department and I passed because of you guys. So like hearing stuff like that, dude, is like it's just like it motivates us to just like keep doing this
I
and
mean,
just try and make it better,
that's what it's about, man. Like, I mean, you guys, and it's funny you mentioned like you guys didn't really know what you were doing when you started,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll figure it out along the way. I think a lot of times, at least in my experience and having a lot of different conversations with various different people, a lot of people have things they want to do, but um, prevent themselves from actioning those things
Hmm.
because they don't think they can do them, or they think they might, oh, I don't have everything ready, I'm not
Yeah.
prepared, all these different things, right? And it goes to show like you don't have to have everything dialed in. As
Yeah.
long as you know which direction you want to go in and you got that compass bearing in the right direction,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out along the way.
Exactly.
And so it looks like you guys are figuring it out, and
Oh yeah.
it's awesome, man.
Yeah. Trial by fire sometimes, man. We're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I said, it's been good, man. It's growing lots, and getting those messages from people is like it's so motivating and just like reassuring that like, you know what, we're doing a good thing here and people are getting a lot of value out of it,
Do you guys
right?
mention those things on your platform as well? Let's say that on Instagram, people are saying, "Hey, man, these guys really helped me out." Do you message that out at all, or
You know what? We haven't, but we should.
you should?
We definitely should
Yeah,
because we do get a lot of messages, especially lately. Like I said, the podcast has grown quite a bit. We got listeners in the States now, and like, what do we have? We had like 10,000 listeners or something like that
that's awesome.
recently. Like, it's really grown a lot. So yeah, that's a good idea. We should definitely do that.
Because I
Have
think
that up.
what it shows is that one, obviously people are listening and they're
Yeah.
getting value out of it.
Yeah.
So it's not just okay, we're having these guests on speaking about whatever, but you're having actual listeners reaching back to you saying, "Hey, man, I got value out of what you guys are doing." I think that goes a long way, for a couple things.
Yeah.
Let's say you keep growing and growing and growing. Now you have impact, right? That's been observed. Okay, well now you can actually, you know, get sponsors
Yeah.
and get people to pay to
Yeah.
allow for you to continue the work that you're doing so you can impact even more people.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like our next goal is to try and get sponsors just so we can get like, we'd like to get another camera. We'd like to get better mics. We have a Patreon account and we have some people signed up on there and they were actually able to purchase this green
Oh
screen that we
wow.
have.
Cool.
So shout out to those people because you guys are supporting us way more than you think, right? So yeah, you know what, man, it's all about just trying to make a better experience for our listeners and just try and help more people, right? So and it's coming along, right? So
Awesome.
um so last time you were on, I got a funny story for you. So
Yeah,
last
let's
time
hear
you
it.
were on,
Yeah.
you motivated the shit out of me. I'm like I'm gonna go for a run, right? I'm like I'm gonna do a 5K run. So I went and I did a 5K run and dude, my body hurt so bad after, man. Like my glutes, my hips, I'm like limping by the end of it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how is he doing like 50K a day? Like this is insane, man. So yeah, no, dude, hats off to you because like I said, man, I went and did that and I was like, I don't know how you're doing this, man.
Yeah, man, honestly, well, okay, I can like being honest and transparent and pretty clear about it. I think um how I was able to do it, first of all, I had a lot of people help, right?
Hmm.
And it was a lot of support. And but how I was able to do it, obviously I had a reason to do it.
Yeah.
But really, I spent 5 years preparing myself to do it, right?
Right.
And so, if I got up and just to do it, yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do it, right?
Yeah.
But over the years of testing myself and really understanding what's required to be able to do something like that, and then really not just testing myself, but really like hard sessions where like mentally it
Hmm.
was super challenging for me. So when the run itself started, the physical part, I mean, it was hard, but I was kind of familiar with it
Right.
because I had been testing myself over a period of time.
Yeah, it's not like you just suddenly decided you're going to run across Canada and jump into it,
Yeah.
right? And I think we actually talked about that too last time when you were on. You talked about, you're reading Goggins' book, and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to go for a run, and you did, and you were like, holy shit, okay, that was pretty hard, but
And how you felt after your 5K is how I felt then.
yeah, yeah. So it's yeah, man, I mean, you've put so much time and effort into not just training your body, but also training yourself mentally for this too, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I really took away from our last session was the mentality that you have is really inspiring, and you're like a no excuse kind of guy, right? Like you're no bullshit. And I think one of our clips that we posted was you saying anybody can run a marathon with the right motivation,
Hmm.
right? And the right mindset. And you're absolutely right, man. I think that says a lot. Like, for some of our listeners who might be thinking like, oh, I don't know if I want to get into the fire service, or I don't know if I can, get into this new sport, or I don't know if I can run, right? It's really your mindset that plays such a big role in that, right?
Yeah, I think, well, 100%. I'm I'm not even a runner. Like, and it sounds silly, whatever, but it's true.
Well, you said you hated running.
I still do.
Yeah.
So I think like it is for me, it was all mindset, right? Because like, what kind of perspective do I want to have? What am I trying to do? And the running part was the easier part to kind of understand.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know why I get kind of almost triggered sometimes. I'll be honest,
Hmm.
man. When people say, "Oh, he's a runner," or "You're a runner," I'm like, "Bro, like I don't look at myself that way.
Yeah.
I look at myself as someone who's purpose driven,
Hmm.
which is I think different than being a runner. And
Absolutely.
when I speak to runners, because I speak to lots of runners and ultra endurance people, marathoners, all this kind of stuff, and a lot of them love it. They're passionate about it. That's why they dive deep and they're so good and they're fast and all these different things. And for me, I'm not that.
Hmm.
I was never really and it took me time to figure this out because I was kind of confused for a period of time. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a runner. I'm passionate about that. But over the last little while, I've been really reflecting and trying to think about that. And I think the reality was I was conflating two things. I was conflating the service and the running as the same
It's the
thing.
same thing. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and now that I've kind of finished my run and in that chapter of my life, I realize I like service.
Hmm.
That's what I'm passionate about. And I like that's one thing. And then another thing that I like just pushing myself. I like to see what I'm capable of.
Right.
And that's what I'm passionate about. And so it's about things that get me curious and get me excited. And so for me now, people ask me, "Oh, what's next? What are you gonna do next?" I go, I don't know, man. We'll figure it out." But really, it's not about physical things. And the things that I've learned way more beyond performance and physical are all the other ancillary things that are associated for someone to run across the country to raise the amount of money, sponsors, media, all these things that are associated to it
Hmm.
far more dwarf running for
Yeah,
me.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. No, it's true, man. Like you talking about purpose, like this is something that actually Boris and I had talked about when we started this. It was never about trying to make a bunch of money. It was never about, trying to become popular or anything like that. It was about the purpose that we felt we were providing for people, and that's what really motivates us to do what we do. And I'm very similar to you in that sense. Like I'm very purpose driven. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I have to have a purpose or a goal to work towards. And when I do have that, like I'm so focused and just like so into it. Whereas like if I don't have like that feeling of purpose, like I find that like I can kind of get lazy and like almost depressed in a way
Yeah,
too, right? Like I don't have something that I'm working towards, right? So yeah, man, like it's having that purpose in your life, I think is huge. And I think, you know what, man, like we were talking earlier about, kind of some masculinity stuff and kind of the mental health crisis that's going on with men and stuff. And I wonder sometimes if a lot of that comes down to not having a sense of purpose,
I think so.
you know?
I think so. And I think like purpose, I mean, it sounds like a daunting thing to come up with, right? And it doesn't have to be. It could be, it can be,
Yeah.
but I don't think it has to be. And for me, I was trying to figure out a few years ago, what's my purpose? And my purpose wasn't to run across Canada. My purpose was actually larger than that. Um, Larger, but not really. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So my purpose, I wrote a mission statement for myself, is to maximize my skill sets for everyone around me and to affect permanent positive change. So I can do that anywhere with anything.
Hmm.
I don't have to run across the country. Just that's my focus.
Yeah.
So I think that supersedes, anything, right? So that can be adapted or put into any sphere of life that I want to take it into.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, like I was just gonna say, like having that mission statement, you know, whatever it is that you decide to do next is going to be that mission statement. It doesn't have to be, like you said, physical. It can be, you know, maybe you start your own charity or
Yeah,
whatever the case might be, right? And
yeah.
we'll get into what you see in the foreseeable
Future.
future here, but um, yeah, man, and that's a great mission statement, by the way. It's
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Yeah, it
That
took
is
it
awesome.
took me. I was talking to a friend of mine because I was pretty lost, right? And my friend was like, and he's an experienced guy, a bit older than me, and he's like, "What's your purpose, man? What's your why?" And I was like, "Man, what? What are you
Yeah,
talking about? What are you talking like? That makes no sense. What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you need a purpose in life. Like, what's your purpose?" And he's like, "I suggest you kind of sit down and figure that out before you do anything."
yeah,
So I spent 2 weeks, man, just trying to figure that out
yeah,
and really just really trying to figure what do I want to do?
yeah,
What do I want to do irrespective of anybody else? And that's what I think maybe is challenging for people because they think about what others might want for them.
for sure. Yeah,
And most of my life I was kind of like that
yeah,
up until a few years ago, and most definitely now I don't think that way. I think about, okay, what do I want to do and how do I want to do it? And so that's kind of where I came with like 2 weeks, just wrote down that mission statement, and it came to be, I just want to be the best version of myself, man.
yeah,
And fundamentally, I just want to be the best version of myself, which means I got to continue learning, continue pushing myself because for me to be a better version of myself, I have to test myself constantly in various
yeah.
different areas.
Yeah, it's one thing to say that you want to be the best version of yourself, but it's another to actually practice it and force yourself to accomplish that, right? And you know what? That's something that will probably never stop too, right? Like you're gonna accomplish whatever it is that you plan on doing next, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do after this? And then you're gonna come up with a plan to do something even bigger and better, and it's gonna continue to grow, right?
It does. And then, so also what I think about is like, okay, if I'm doing all these various different types of things, um, well, cool, man, I'm gonna learn a ton. So that means I can also, if someone is curious and they want to ask me some questions, I can give that information to them too, right?
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that's also what I'm thinking about is how do I also serve after accomplishing or learning some things? And then if people want to know from me, I mean, limited understanding of certain things, but I do know a few things. And that's what that's for too, right? So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure, man. It's like you know, your whole mission statement really is like, you know, you talked about, you know, setting a positive example essentially, right? I mean, people are going to look up to you, especially with what you've done now, and they're going to come to you for advice and stuff like that, and you're able to provide that through the experiences that you've gone through,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's a big thing is you're not just somebody saying this is what you should do. You're somebody who's like, hey, I went through this. This is what I did. You can do it too, kind of thing.
Exactly. Look, I'm not here to tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
Really, like, I mean, who am I? But I've gone through some stuff,
Hmm.
right? And if someone values maybe my experience or something, and they want to ask me questions, yeah, man, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like, and if whatever I can suggest from my own experiences may help somebody, yeah, man, of course,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the run.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So you're probably sick about talking about it because
No,
you have
no,
so many
no.
people asking you probably. But so it kicked off in Victoria, is that correct?
Yeah, June 16th, Father's Day. It was at Clover Point Park.
Okay.
Was where actually didn't kick off there, but we were there for the day before, and then on the 16th we kicked off from the Terry Fox Memorial.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
What was that first day like?
Um, Emotional, um, stressful, uh, exhausting.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
I
it,
can
it
imagine, dude.
it was it was a lot. Like and there was a lot of people there, and I don't know, man. I felt at times a little overwhelmed that
Hmm.
first day, for sure.
Well, for sure, man. It's such a big thing that you had been working towards and promoting for so long, and you know now it's the day of, and it's, you know, of course you're going to be overwhelmed, and you know you want everything to go as smooth as
Yeah.
possible, and which it never does,
Nope, it didn't.
right? It never does, no matter how much you prepare. It seems like for something big, it's there's always something
For
that
sure.
comes up. But that also kind of plays into like what we're talking about, the mindset, right? Shit comes up, you deal with it,
Hmm.
right?
I think that's what's really the last 4 years leading up to this was a lot of that, right? Being
Yeah.
prepared to pivot and being prepared to adjust on the fly. The first day I went faster than I should have,
Yeah.
right? And we completed the first 100 and got to Victoria to Nanaimo and got 3 hours sleep for the ferry and then took the ferry to the mainland and ran all the way to Langley. So really the first few days was like a blur,
Yeah.
right? And but I think it was um uh, it was a lot was happening those first few days. And one of the main things that not only I recognized, but the people around me, the team, a lot of people were coming out. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were engaging because the RV was like a moving billboard, man.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that RV on your social media. It was awesome, man.
Yeah, and people were like, it was it was hard to be able to execute against 100K each day, having to not having to engaging with people and having conversations and still moving.
Never even thought about that actually. Yeah, because like it's not just the run that you're doing. You're also like I was watching like we were watching you closely on your Instagram there, and you had people there basically every step of the way, right?
Yeah, for
Various
a lot of
people
it, yeah.
meeting you
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, right? So like you're physically exhausted, but also mentally it must have been pretty exhausting to
Yeah, that was hard, right?
yeah,
And so, and also because like we were running for mental health, and I was really, I was struggling, man. I was like, I got to run 100K. I've said I'm going to run 100K, and I don't know if I can run 100K if I'm having conversations and stopping
yeah,
and doing all these things. I don't know if I can do it.
yeah.
And so we started having conversation amongst the team, and really fundamentally, I asked myself the question. I was like, okay, what's the ultimate goal? What are we trying to do here? And it came back to raising awareness and funds.
Hmm.
It wasn't about me. It wasn't about any of that. Who gives a crap about what people are going to say if we pivot? Like, what are we trying to do? Because if I'm running and someone's coming and wants to have a conversation, and it wasn't just like, oh, hey, how you doing? It's like some people were struggling, man,
Yeah.
and some people needed to offload their burden onto something or somebody.
Hmm.
And in good conscience, how could me or anyone else on the team say, "Hey, sorry, we're gonna keep running because we got to get to this destination." The message isn't right.
No, exactly. And like you said, I mean, it wasn't really even about the run. It's about raising the awareness, right?
Mm,
So I mean, if like you said, I mean, if you were to be like, "Oh, sorry, I can't. I got to keep running." I mean, the run isn't really the main purpose there,
exactly. And
right?
so what we ended up doing within the first week is we pivoted and we changed the entire plan and we messaged that out on all platforms, changed the website, everything. So what we ended up doing was going from 100K to at least 50K a day, and saying we're gonna, you know what, we're gonna hold space for people. We're gonna run to them, not past them.
Yeah.
And so what that ended up doing is obviously I'd be running anywhere. It was just on average at the end of it, just over 50K a day. Some days were a little bit, 60K, some 55, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think what we ended up realizing was, okay, I could run from town to town in certain areas, but in those bigger target areas where people are and we're getting more engagement, let's just stay there for a few days, run in the town and hold space. And so as I would run, people would join, or they'd come to the RV and the team would have conversations with them and just listen.
Yeah.
And then I'd come back and then I'd do the same. So the days were ended up being very dynamic and fluid because it wasn't like, okay, get up and go run, you're done. It
Hmm.
was like get up, run, someone's at the RV, come back, have conversation, go back, like, and just do that.
Yeah.
And was that I don't know if it was harder or not. It was just different.
Yeah.
And but I feel like that was a better way of doing it. Now, having said that, there were some days that we would sit in the RV. I'd run like 20 or 30K, get back to the RV, sit there with some people for 3 hours,
Wow.
and then go back out.
Wow.
And then, there were days I'd finish at 12, 1 in the morning or whatever, just for that reason.
Yeah, for sure. How was your sleep? Because you said that you, after leaving the island, you got 3 hours of sleep and then you were running from the
Yeah, no,
mainland to Langley.
from Horseshoe Bay to Langley.
Man,
Yeah,
got 3 hours of sleep. And here I
yeah.
was earlier bitching about I worked last night and I'm a little bit tired, and you're running 100K,
I don't recommend it. I don't
1,500K.
recommend it.
Yeah,
That was not pleasant.
yeah,
But that was poor planning on my part. I should have planned that better.
But like we said, man, shit happens, things come up,
Yeah.
and it is what it is,
And
right?
look, I mean, I was going to do the thing, however long it was going to take me. And this is another thing that I want to kind of just highlight because I think people might misunderstand what this is versus something else. So, like, some people who might have listened to this have done marathons or maybe even an ultra, right?
Hmm.
And it's a lot, right? But the focus of those things are one day,
Yeah.
crush it as fast as you can go, and then spend the rest of the few weeks recovering.
Hmm.
That's not what I did. What I was doing is, okay, I got to stay um, at a pace that will allow me to continue day after day.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean I'm ripping going fast. I'm staying in zone one, zone two heart rates,
Hmm.
max 120 beats per minute for the entire day.
Right.
And that's what's allowing me to continue day after day. And, maybe if I was a better athlete or something, I could crush faster. But from my experience and speaking to other people who've done certain similar types of things, it's not really that. It's more of a war of attrition, and if
Hmm.
you can do it day after day. So I just kind of want to lay that a bit out because some people might, hear this and be like, "Oh, that's kind of slow." Yeah, it was kind of slow, but that's not what it's about. It
Hmm.
was about getting it done day after day and then engaging with people.
Yeah, for sure. Like we were saying earlier, it was more about the people than anything, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I saw you like on your Instagram, you had tons of people coming out to support you and chat with you and stuff, and that must have been pretty surreal, hey?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's surreal now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll like you as you're saying certain things to me, like, oh, people are gonna look up to you, this, that. Like that's surreal to me
Hmm.
because I'm just a dude, man.
Yeah.
I'm a normal dude. I don't think anything's really that special about me, other than nothing that special about me that no one else around me can do. Like anybody can do what I've done and probably do it a lot better than me. I guess what maybe I have for me is that I'm just consistent and
Hmm.
I'll stick with something uh, relentlessly. So for me, there is sometimes a lot of um, not questioning, but like it is surreal, man. Like a lot of people came out to support, and in the moment as I was doing it, I didn't really. Sometimes I didn't really realize it because I was so in the thing.
Hmm.
But now that I've been reflecting over the last couple months, and I likely will be reflecting on that run for the rest of my life,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, man! Like a lot of people were awesome, man.
Hmm.
And what I recognized, and I think I really want to highlight this for sure, is that I probably saw Canada in a way that not many people are able to or are willing to do. And I spoke to over 5,000 people, like
Wow.
actual
Wow.
conversations, like not like legitimate conversations.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting experience to have. And what I recognized, despite what social media might say or what the news might say, is that Canada's pretty freaking awesome, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
And the people in Canada are pretty legit. Like it was fundamentally, and from Winnipeg to Toronto, it was just me and Glenn in that RV for 2 weeks. And Glenn's a brown guy from India, came here a couple years ago. I'm a South Asian dude, and those things didn't enter my mind, but there was a consideration running across the country based on some of the climate that is kind of going
Mm,
on,
yeah.
that maybe some people might chirp or whatever. Nothing like it. I didn't experience any of that, man. And everybody we came across was pretty awesome. People invited us, strangers invited us into their homes to have dinner. Like it was a good experience.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that because, like, we do hear a lot in the news and on social media, and a lot of there's a lot of polarization, I would say, in our country right now, and there has been for a couple years now. And but to hear that like everything was like people were just so supportive and happy and coming out to see you and inviting you into their homes and stuff. I mean, that's awesome, man. Like we do live in such a great place. Like
I mean,
despite, I mean, hey, show me a country that doesn't have some problems. You know what I
look,
mean?
and I think that's just from what I'm speaking more towards is the people in our country. I can't speak for the government. I
Yeah.
can't, like, that's all whatever.
Yeah.
But the people in our country, man, I mean, I don't know. I had a pretty good experience. Yeah, it's anecdotal, but it's very We spoke to lots of people, and I didn't have, I mean, very small number of negative experiences,
Hmm.
not as much that someone might think they might have. And yeah, like I said, man, Canadians have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere we went, and it was cool to see.
Yeah.
It was cool to
That's
see.
awesome, man. What was it like running across the prairies?
It was cool, man. Like
Could you see the finish line, or were you just like, oh man, this is never ending?
man, I didn't think of it that way, man. It was flat after going through BC and Alberta. So I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And I was trying to focus on when I was outside running, what was beautiful around me. And there's beauty there too, right? Like
Yeah.
I, you know, the canola fields look pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it did. And and a lot of the people we engaged with were really nice
Awesome.
and cool. Look, I mean, certain part like Regina, you know, not the best town,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the people were cool.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, could probably get some upgrades,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the people were cool.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't focused on, first of all, I was focused on like, getting up, doing what I was there to do, but also taking in the environment as much as I could. And it allowed me to see, some awesome people, but also where the gaps are.
Hmm.
And the country is struggling from what I saw as it relates to like addiction and mental health and all the conversations that I had. So that was my job too, was to see what's really out there for me
Yeah.
and observe it and engage it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I saw a video too that you had posted on your Instagram of your feet, and they were destroyed, dude.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like just looking at that video made my feet hurt, you know? I'm sure obviously like you were probably dealing with that the entire time.
Yeah.
How'd you overcome that?
Oh man, it was funny, man. I ran leading up to that probably close to 20,000 kilometers in training over the
Hmm.
last 4 or 5 years, whatever, right? And I didn't really get that many blisters in those years. First week, my feet exploded.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Uh, but having said that, I'm still dealing with some foot issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was hard, man. It was so I would have to break things up into pieces, right? Because some days were really, really challenging to get going. And so I ended up developing bursitis in my left foot,
Okay.
um, where the Achilles joins the heel,
Damn.
right in there. And it was big.
Yeah.
And that was probably within the first month.
Damn.
And I didn't know what was going on. Like shouldn't go to the doctor to figure it out. It was just like, okay, let's. So every day I had a routine for it, right?
Yeah.
I'd use some CBD, I'd use ICID, I'd do all the things, and after let's say the first hour or two, then it would kind of okay, I can manage it.
Right.
So things like that would happen, and those for me were finding ways to adapt and overcome,
Yeah.
right? I knew going into this that it was going to be hard, right?
For sure.
So if you go into it thinking, oh, I'm not going to have any foot issues, and then they happen, I mean, it's going to not feel good.
Yeah.
I was going into it thinking, okay, I might die,
Yeah.
framing it that way. Not really, thinking those things would happen, but framing in my head, okay, I'm doing this. I signed my will before I kicked off,
Wow.
just really, to really assign conviction to the run.
Yeah.
So like it's happening. We're gonna do it.
Because I mean, like just thinking about that now, like that adds a whole other element to your whole mission that you were doing, right? I mean, now it's, you got the run, you got the people that you're engaging with, you have the charities that you're raising money for, but then also you got to deal with injuries along the way, right? And you kept going, right? And I mean, man, hats off to you because like I said, when I saw that video, man, I was like, oh my God, that looks painful.
It was, and I think it's funny, man, because like that, I think that was probably in and around. I think it was in Manitoba, maybe. I thought Saskatchewan. I'm trying to remember. Give me a sec here. Yeah, it was in and around that area. I think probably in Manitoba area. Yeah, after Winnipeg, and we hit some, we hit some like tornado, and man, I'm not a religious dude, and maybe I'm gonna start exploring it. Perhaps.
Yeah.
I have an open mind now. Um, and I was with Glenn, who's Christian, and he's I wouldn't say he's religious, but he's
Yeah.
he, and he would continue saying when things were kind of like really off the rails, but things just worked out. It's like,
Yeah.
man, we got divine protection, man. Something's happening because we got this RV park when it was tornado was coming through. It was tornado warning. Went to this RV park. It was ridiculously raining, and then we went to bed. And in the morning, things were messed everywhere, and the tornado went around us.
Wow. Holy crap, dude.
And that's one thing. And then another, like we got into, I think it was either Brandon, Manitoba. I think maybe Brandon, Manitoba. Awesome place, awesome people that we met there. And that day, first 25K, it was torrential downpour, and that's where the feet really started, kind of, because it was just feet were wet. The
Yeah.
shoes probably weighed 3 pounds after, just
Oh
for
my
full of
God.
water. And so that's where we filmed that video with my feet
Yeah.
to illustrate, hey man, this is what the feet look like after being in the rain for about, I don't know. At that point when I filmed that part was because I was switching out my shoes, and that was probably about 3 4 hours, three
Yeah.
hours into it.
Wow.
And then fortunately after we kind of changed and everything, the rain kind of subsided, and I was like, because I was like, that was probably, yeah, one of the crappier ones.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you would have had like a whole allotment of running shoes, eh?
Not as many as I would have wanted.
Yeah.
I had probably about 4 pairs in total.
That's it? Four
Yeah,
pairs?
yeah,
Holy smokes, man.
yeah,
How
yeah.
long? Wow. So you just kept like rotating them through and
Yeah, I mean that I think the first couple pairs, that's probably what created the initial problem with my feet.
yeah.
Because I was using some shoes that I had already ran on.
Okay.
And they were probably getting close to the end, but I still used them. So that wasn't smart. And that probably created the blistering at the beginning.
Right.
And then it kind of sustained. And then I picked up some new shoes. Um, I got two new shoes in Victoria. They were okay. And then I got another pair in Winnipeg, two or three more pairs in Winnipeg. And that kind of shifted the into a better state.
Helped out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Were you using like a specific shoe or is it just
So the shoes I ended up getting when I got to Winnipeg, they had nylon fiber plates in them. So that was the benefit. I'd say that was the specific part of that type of shoe I was getting for then at that
mm,
point, because my left foot was just so mangled, it was hard to kind of propel.
right.
And so the nylon fiber plates, they last longer and they give just a little bit more of a bounce.
Right.
And so yeah, so those were helpful.
Yeah, because I'd imagine, I mean, it's not like you can just if you're doing something like that, you can't just get your regular everyday shoe, right? Like,
I'm sure you could, but I mean, for me, I wanted to get running shoes that would last longer, that had a bigger toe box. So
right.
because when your feet swell up, right? And
Yeah,
my feet were swollen for a lot of it. And so you want to have a bit of a bigger toe box to allow for the inflammation
for sure.
in the
Yeah.
foot. So little things like that
Yeah.
that maybe people don't really consider when you're not running like a lot.
Right.
When you're running a lot, like leading up to the run across the country, I was averaging about 200 kilometers a week in training.
Wow.
And so my feet were always kind of feeling
Kind of
swollen.
mangled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always kind of there.
Yeah.
So, when you're starting to do those things, you start looking for, okay, how can I help this? Okay, well, let me explore different types of shoes. So that's what I mean by testing yourself, right? Like a
Right.
lot of people don't push themselves enough to understand what they really need
Yeah, what they
to be able
require.
to perform.
Right. What about nutrition and stuff like during the run? Like, were you following like a very specific nutrition
I
plan
had a
or?
plan to start, and that changed too because I got sick of what I was doing the first 2 3 days,
Yeah.
right? Because like I was like, you know what, I'll just do liquid fuel the whole time, be all good, do my cal, this, that, and the other, and I was doing that, having a certain amount of carbs, electrolytes, and water every
hmm
hour. And within 2 days, it was creating, I wasn't, I don't know what was happening, but it was creating um, like hiccups.
Oh,
I
really?
was having relentless hiccups. And I was like, man, I think it's from drinking this. That's all I'm doing. So then just kind of transition to, okay, let's just eat food and eat as much as I can.
Yeah.
And, you know, and managing the electrolytes and sodium. So that I was focused more on that rather than the liquid fuel of carbohydrates as I was running. So I was
Hmm.
making sure every hour I was having electrolytes and sodium. And then, so what I eventually came to doing, I had a system, and it took me about half the country to kind of figure out. I would get up, crush 30 kilometers, take a break, eat a ton of food. So I'd get up in the morning, eat a bunch, go out, and then just run, and
Hmm.
then come back, eat again, hydrate, and finish off the last 20 and slow down the last 20.
Yeah.
Because I felt like for me mentally, I needed to get that 30 done. And the last 20, I'm like, oh, it's 20, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just made it a bit easier for me.
Yeah, because I'd imagine like we were talking about earlier, you're talking about, people who do like ultra marathons and stuff like that, like, these big 1 day events, right? But you're doing this every day, right? You got to fuel your body in order to continue on, right? So that's something that I was wondering about is like, you must have had to have like quite a high caloric intake,
Yeah,
right?
I was in deficit the whole time because even so, if you're doing 1 day thing, you can kind of cover the amount of loss of calories in, the days after,
Hmm.
right? Because let's say you're doing 100 kilometers, yeah, I mean, you're going to burn 10,000 calories.
Yeah.
So I was running, let's say 50 to 60 kilometers each day on average, probably burning about 5 to 6,000 calories. Right. So now if you're doing that day after day after day, you're never going to be able to consume enough food to compensate for that caloric loss.
Right.
So the goal was to maintain a certain loss. So don't go below, let's say, 12 to 15 pounds.
Right.
Once you start losing more than, for me, if I was going to lose more, then potential for injury would start coming in. So the goal was to try to at least eat enough to, you know, I lost I lost probably 20 pounds.
Okay.
Um, and I don't know how, like I tried as much as I could to eat as much as I could, but I don't know how how I could have eaten more to manage that loss. I don't think I could have.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be having to eat so much, man, in
And
order to,
listen, man, I was eating a lot. Like first, some days we were staying at Walmart's to save money,
yeah.
and so we'd park the RV at a Walmart, and I'd get up, go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I got. I'd get pancake, um, the pancake breakfast with bacon. I get two muffins, apple turnovers, um, and that would be like, okay, let's start. And then let's say lunch would either be like a bowl of pasta or like some oatmeal. I mean, just to kind of use up stuff. But it was really
Hmm.
like I went on a stint of just a bunch of pasta and just sit there and eat that. And then dinner like in the evenings. And throughout that, I might be like stopping off at a gas station, getting a bar, chocolate bar, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in the evenings, if we had the time, or if we're staying at a hotel, I'd probably get like a couple pints of ice cream or
Hmm.
one
Yeah, I
one
guess
pint
you'd
or
want things that are like really high in calories, and I guess a lot of it was kind of carb
carb,
focused, right?
100%, yeah, carb focused. I
Yeah.
would try to get my protein after I was done running.
Yeah.
So I'd try to get, let's say, 50 to 60 during the whole run,
Yeah.
and then after the run, crush another 60, and then right before bed have a bit more. But even then, it was kind of hard to manage because like I just wanted to eat more like carbs, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what you need to fuel
yeah,
you for that run,
yeah.
right? Um, let's talk about some of the people that you met. You said you were able to engage with over 5,000 people, which is unbelievable, dude. That's awesome. Was there anyone specifically that really stood out to you the most?
Oh, there's so many people, man.
Yeah.
I would be lying to say there was only one that
Hmm.
just. There was so many people that all have their own stories,
Hmm.
and um, all the people that we engaged with were pretty cool, and some of them had some really um, touching stories. I'll share one real quick. I was in Saskatoon, and we had some sponsors and supporters. So there was one location. It was like basically like a Whole Foods, but it's called Dad's Organic Market, and it's based in Saskatchewan. Awesome place, cool people, and almost like actually like yeah, like a Whole Foods, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And so they set up sort of like a rest our sort of home base. So we put the RV there,
Nice.
and they had like a tent, and they did all these things, and they had their staff come out and help out. And one of their staff members, awesome person, she was really engaged with what we were doing, and she was out there kind of also getting people to donate and having conversations as people came and whatnot. And so then we also had a couple cops come up that have heard of what I've been doing, and they want to
Hmm.
come and just kind of present me with one of their challenge coins and
Nice.
whatnot. And so I wasn't there at the time, Glenn, who's basically managing everything, and I was out on the run. And so, but he recognized that when the cops came, the woman kind of freaked out a little bit,
Okay.
right? And there was a little bit of tension or something happened. Anyways, long story short, I come back and they tell me the story. So the woman had been clean from, was homeless, was addicted to drugs. Her partner was also addicted to drugs. 6 years ago, those cops arrested them and put the guy in jail.
Okay.
And so he was in jail for, drug trafficking and all this kind of stuff. But she had been trying to find them for the last 5 or 6 years because they arrested them and put him to jail, he got clean.
Oh wow.
And she got clean because of him, because he was also helping her get clean.
Nice.
And so she's been sober for the most part for the last 5 years, got this job now doing this, and she had been trying to find them to thank them,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so serendipitously, I'm there. These guys come up, and it was just she was able to thank them after basically saving her life and her
Yeah.
partner's life. And then also these guys came because they were struggling. You know how it is in either in the first responder space or law enforcement. Sometimes you don't feel valued or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
And so they were kind of feeling a little um, disillusioned with the career and things like that. Now I know what it feels like to have a 360 full circle moment in law enforcement, and usually those things don't happen.
Right.
And especially in the first response, as a paramedic or firefighter, how often do you see someone that you saved their lives?
Never.
Now imagine how
Never.
you would feel 20 years from now. Someone comes up, or 10 years from now, someone comes up to you, hey man, you might not remember me, but you saved me and my kid's life.
Yeah.
Like, what would that do?
Oh man.
Reinvigorate you, like
Absolutely.
light that fire again.
Absolutely.
That's what that did for those guys.
Man, that's awesome, dude. What an awesome story, man.
And so for me, I was like, that's what this is about.
And you know what? It's true, man. Like in this line of work that, the first responder field, a lot of the times like you don't ever know what happens. You never know what the outcome is of the people that you've dealt with. And, I find myself wondering sometimes too about certain calls that I've been on where, we've gone to pulse back on somebody or, I rescued a guy from an apartment fire once and he lived. But, I always kind of wonder, like, I wonder how he's doing. I hope he's doing good. But like, we never really get to meet those people ever again,
Nope.
right? So
Yeah.
that must have been for them, that must have been such a surreal moment. And like, what are the odds, man?
I mean,
Like,
probably extremely slim.
yeah,
Extremely
like
slim.
what are the
Like that
odds?
likely doesn't happen if I don't run through that town.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
exactly.
which is kind of trippy for me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. So like, I mean, that just goes to show you how you're touching people's lives out there.
And that's one story out of like so many.
Yeah,
So many, man. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
it's unreal, man. That's a great story. And yeah, I could imagine, man, that you obviously had so many people come out, learned so much probably about different people and
Learned a lot about myself. Forget about other people, man.
yeah.
Like for me, I learned a lot about who I am. Look, I'm not perfect. I've made tons of mistakes. I made mistakes on that run.
Hmm.
I could have done things better. I could have engaged people better. I like a lot of things,
Hmm.
right? But I did my best, right? And for me, I learned a lot about who I am, um, what I'm capable of, what I want to continue doing, like all these different things that people have questions about.
Yeah,
I kind of have answers for myself,
yeah,
and really, and this is I'm in a new space right now, man, because like for 5 years I was obsessed with this thing. So my whole mental bandwidth was devoted to that, nothing else really.
right.
And it was like I didn't have much mental space for much, too many other things.
Right.
And so for me, it's like now that I'm done, I have all this space left. Not left, but available to me now. Where now, like I'm engaging with my daughters like in a different level now. Not better or anything, but just on a different level because
Hmm.
I'm way more present.
Yeah.
And like even with my girlfriend, like and so it's a transition for me, man. Because like for 5 years, it's so hard for me to explain this. Like, I guess for anybody who's done anything for a long period of time, and devoted everything that you've had to that thing, um, now I'm trying to transition out of that space because I don't want to be that hyper focused on that particular type of thing.
Right. Right.
And I want to be able to now be there for people more rather than myself because that's what I needed to do for 5 years.
Yep.
And it was like I didn't go out much. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mean, to do what you did is very consuming
Yeah,
of your, well, one, your mental well-being, right? But also just your personal life, like everything, right? In order to prep for something like this, and like we talked about this the last time you were on the show too, like you're either 100% in or you're not in,
yeah, you're not.
right? There's no in between
No,
for
man.
something like this, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, man, like I get it. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying. I haven't done that, but like I get what you're saying where it's like the last 5 years is like your whole life has really been
that's
devoted
it.
to this
Yeah,
mission and this purpose, and now you've completed that, right? And was it almost like when you finished, like you were able to kind of take a step back and just kind of reevaluate yourself and your life and
I've been doing that since September 5th when I finished.
yeah,
Like I gave myself 3 months.
yeah.
I want to give myself time. It was an emotional last day too, man. Like it's
Yeah, let's talk about that. I want to know what was it like getting to that end line there, that finish line that you had.
I wanted to feel the entire day
Yeah,
because like it was the last day.
yeah,
And I didn't care how long or fast, short, whatever it took. I wanted to like just be present in that day. And it's man, I got like the first thing in the morning, we first sort of story or thing that we clipped up for Instagram. I was emotional, man.
yeah.
And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was in St. John's, um, next to the Terry Fox Memorial. And it's in an area where you can't really it's like the statue's there, but it's not a good place to start a run.
Right.
It's kind of like in the middle of town kind of thing, but it's not like it was we were planning where do we want to finish the run. And finishing it at the Terry Fox Memorial in St. John's would have been the case, but the day before, uh, I ran to Cape Spear, which is the easternmost point in North America,
Oh wow.
and it's beautiful. So I go to the team. I go, yeah, we're finishing there tomorrow because that's like it looks epic,
Right.
and it's like a lot of hills, a lot of climbing, but it's at the tip of North America. On the eastern side, you got some lighthouses. You got it's just a beautiful sort of look. So we were gonna finish there, but we started at the Terry Fox Monument in St. John's. And as I was talking, I did my thing, day whatever.
Yeah.
But I had a little, not a script, but something I would say each morning before I started. And as I'm, kind of filming with my phone, looking at myself, I caught Terry Fox behind me, and I just started couldn't keep it together, man. It
Yeah.
was just like I can feel it right now,
Yeah.
and it was like
That's amazing, man.
it was cool feeling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like sadness or anything. It was just like overwhelming emotion
Yeah.
of like 5 years of sacrifice, of grinding, of making friends, losing friends, of freaking everything involved. And it all was like in that moment hit me
Yeah.
right next to the Terry Fox statue.
Wow.
And I fought through the words, I said them, and then I got to work.
Yeah. Wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, like you said, like this whole journey, like the past 5 years has been so you've been so mentally, emotionally, physically invested in this, right? And then you finally kind of hit that finish line area,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you were able to actually kind of absorb and take in what you had done, and the last 5 years of training for this, and it finally kind of became real in a sense. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
Like,
I think what I have no issue sharing how I felt or how I was feeling, all these things. I think it's kind of, I don't know, just I want to be honest.
yeah,
And before the run started, I was over it.
yeah,
I was pretty done with running.
yeah,
Like
yeah, I can
I was
imagine.
just like, man, I just want to get this done now, man. I want to start another chapter in my life.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what I started the run, like before the run even started. And thank God I had a few days off before because that kind of recalibrated me. But I was just grinding so hard from January until like June.
Yeah,
And I was like telling my friends and stuff like, I mean, I'm so over this right now. I just want to get it done and get started and let's go. And so as the run was happening, towards the end of the run, I was like, man, I just can't wait to be done. I just want to get this done.
yeah, for sure.
But then I didn't want to have that energy with me for the entire day of the last day. And I wasn't like, Newfoundland's freaking beautiful, man. If anyone hasn't, if people have gone there or haven't, if you haven't gone there, definitely go. Freaking awesome. The people are probably the best people in the entire country.
Nice.
That's how I felt. And so I knew it was the last day. So I was like, you know what? Let's enjoy this day for what it is and experience it all. And so it was very fortunate to be able to like, you know, look at the monuments within St. John's. Like a lot of history there,
Yeah.
and so I got to experience that. Um, and then being alone for a lot of it. That for me, I think I like that to a certain degree.
Hmm.
Sometimes, sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. So I guess it depends on my mood. But that day, I enjoyed being by myself
Yeah.
and just taking it all in and going to different parts of the route and like seeing it.
Yeah.
And then the last 500 meters, I got to Cape Spear and there was some people there, and we did a live IG live as I ran the last 500. And at this point, I was pretty mangled. Like
Yeah.
so I ended up I had that bursitis in my left foot, hip bursitis in my right hip, and all the other things associated to whatever that means. And yeah, I was like, this 500 meters, last 500, I'm gonna crush this last 500 meters. Fuck this 500 meters.
Yeah.
And I got there and I just said, you know, let's see how fast I can push myself. Because I wanted to give whatever I had. And I sprinted, but whatever my sprint was at that time,
Right.
right? It wasn't my
Yeah.
fastest, but it was like what I could deliver. And I kept running. And then so Glenn was filming with his phone. And he's not a runner, so he couldn't keep up. And then so he handed it off to Will, and that's a story I want to share too. Handed it off to Will, who's with us, a good kid, and he could keep up. And so I started running, and there was a going up a hill now to the light. I wanted to get to the lighthouse, so I'm running. I'm just clipping the last 500 meters, probably averaging, I don't know, 5.5 minutes a kilometer, which was super fast for me at the time.
Right.
And then I got to the lighthouse. I walked up the steps. I touched the door of the White House, and my watch went off 50 kilometers,
Wow.
right on the dot.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly
And then I
50K.
turned around and I just went like this, took it all in, and then that was it.
Yeah. Unreal, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. It's yeah, I can't even imagine how you felt just knowing what
Relief,
you
man, relief, bro. I
yeah.
was done. Like it wasn't the 80 whatever days of the run. It was the 5 years.
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do something 5 years ago. Worked my tail off to be able to someone who could even run 50K. I couldn't run 5 when I started.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to get sponsors. I had all the sponsors. I didn't know how to pay for things. I learned so much to be able to create something. So I was like, "Ah, I'm done. Oh,
Yeah.
cool, man, I did it." And I had the people around me that at that time were people who believed in me from whenever they started to believe in what I was doing. And that was cool to be able to see those people around me. Um, seeing me accomplish something that I've focused a lot of energy into. And then I want to mention Will too, man, because Will's like, I don't know, man. This guy's a good kid. That kid, he's like, I think he's like 28 or something. I met him last year. I met him last year at Together We Can, and he was in recovery at Together We Can.
Okay.
So a young kid.
Yeah.
This is one of the charities I was supporting, and I was invited there to speak. And they had a group of guys, probably like 50 guys, and they were new to the facility, so they were in the hurt locker, like
Right.
crack, heroin, like all the things, right? And Will was there, and he looked skinny, and I just talked, shared my story or whatever. And after he started asking me some questions, and I answered him the best I could, and moved on from there. Never thought of him that much after.
Right.
A few months later, I see him at this dinner I went to a breathwork session, and he was at that breathwork session, and I saw him at dinner with the same group of people I went with. And I was like, "Oh, hey man, like what's up? How you doing?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, I've been clean since you had that talk when you came out." I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh, cool, man, good for you. You've been working hard." And he goes, "Yeah, whatever you said helped, and I continued to work this, that, and the other." I was like, "Cool." And so I go, "Hey, you want to come for a run with me next week?" So he joined up. We went for a run. Anyways, long story short, I said, if you're able to stay clean and you can support and help us out, more than happy to have you join us as a volunteer and come out. So he came out to Toronto, flew out to Toronto, spent 2 weeks with me and the team, and he having someone like that around was also really encouraging for me, man. It's like,
Yeah.
he was a good kid, but not only that, he also helped me.
Yeah.
There was one day, and we are in Kingston, Ontario. And Kingston, Ontario is like holds a special spot in my heart, both good and bad for me, right? And I went to RMC there, the military
Yeah.
college, and I wasn't my best self at that time, so I wasn't able to continue there. I
Right.
was drinking way too much, and I was behaving in a way that I wouldn't be proud of today if I was acting that way.
Right.
And so for me, it was a lot kind of going on emotionally being in that town. And so he recognized that first thing in the morning as we're sitting in the RV, because I was kind of like I was feeling it.
Yeah.
And so I got outside to run. He goes, "Hey man, I'll join you." It's like, okay. And then that little bit, he gave back to me.
Yeah.
And so as we're running, he wasn't planning to stick with me for the 50. He got to 10 or 15, and he was probably where he wanted to be for the day.
Right.
And so I just encouraged him, "Hey man, like you can do the whole thing if you want to." And so long story short, he joined me for the whole 50
Wow.
and never done a 50 before in his life.
Wow.
And it was a grind.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy, but he didn't quit. And he stayed with me until night. And then we got back to the RV, and he did something, saw himself do something he didn't think he could do or didn't think he was going to be able to do, and he did that. So I gave back to him.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's what it's about.
For sure.
That's what all of this is about.
Well, and exactly, like I think that that says a lot about what you did, right? I mean, in a way, you really changed this guy's life, right?
He
And
changed his own life.
yeah, absolutely, you're right. He did. He changed his own life, but you were maybe a little bit of that driving factor of maybe that motivation that he was looking for
Yeah.
to help him,
I,
right?
I think sorry to interrupt, but I think this is a good point, and I think something to kind of maybe have a little chat about. I think so. Whatever he accomplished was all on him. He
Yeah.
did all that, right? And he wanted better for himself. But what he did recognize, he was curious about something and someone, and that maybe was me, maybe, and maybe
Hmm.
it was some other people too. But I think there's an internal thing that we all have that we're like, oh man, there's something about that dude or person or female that I kind of gravitated to. So he
Right.
listened to that, and then I engaged it. And I think that's kind of what that was. I think it's more of a relationship, because what he did for me in Kingston, he did.
Hmm.
He helped me out in a moment where I could use a little company.
Right.
And so I think, I don't know, man. I think it's,
It's a bit of a two-way street,
yeah,
right?
it's a
Yeah.
synergistic benefit on both parties there,
Yeah.
right? It's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. And I think that's where sometimes people miss the plot. It's never one way.
No.
And if it is, then it sucks.
Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
should be two ways. You're giving something and you're getting something back from this podcast.
Hmm.
Cool, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm giving something, I'm getting something back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't getting something from my heart out of
Yeah.
it because I'm not a wealthy person.
Yeah.
So why else do it?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
not very many people would want to go through the experiences of that unless they're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting out of it isn't monetary, which is not really a top priority for me. What I'm getting out of it is like connection, community. I'm
Hmm.
getting that.
Yeah.
And for me, I that's what I value. And so it's a two-way street, man.
Absolutely. It's cool that you guys were able to kind of like help each other out, right? It's funny how life works out sometimes, you know. It's you motivated him and then next thing you know he's with you and he's motivating you
It's
as
freaking
well.
cool, man. And then he went back home. He stayed with us from Toronto to Montreal, and then he came back. He stayed in Montreal because he had a friend out there, and then he flew out to St. John's to join me for the last bit.
Nice.
And so that's the Will who had the phone, who was filming it, and so yeah, it's just cool to develop. So what I've recognized over this journey is like I've developed friendships with. I feel like I've developed real types of friendships,
Hmm.
perhaps maybe that I didn't have in the past that I thought I might have.
Right.
Um, and so for me, I don't need a ton of friends.
Yeah.
What I do want, because I don't need anything, but there are things I want. And what I want is to have friends that I can connect with,
Yeah. True connection.
right?
Yeah.
And meaningful connections with people, because for me that feels good.
For sure. Yeah.
As simple as that.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out to Will though, man. That's
yeah. You know his last
good on
Will
him.
Savage.
Will Savage. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
That's his name.
That's a fitting last name for this guy then. Good for him, man. No, that's shout out to Will because that's unreal, man. Like he's you know, I don't know him and just from based off of what you told me, I'm excited to for
Yeah,
him to go on that next journey in his
yeah.
life
I
and
am excited for him too. It's cool. And who knows, maybe that's with me or someone else or other people, like
yeah.
whatever.
Speaking of next journey, so
Yeah.
you finished the run, you know, you had some time to reflect on it and you know, come back, kind of heal a bit and all that. What do you think is next for you?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to stay doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What it looks like might look different.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, so to run across the country, I could do it, but I don't know if I want to anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I'm 47. I'll be 48 next month or in January. And so for me, I'm thinking about what can I continue to do that's like this, but I can do forever,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm exploring right now.
Nice.
And I just want to enjoy going back to jiu-jitsu again.
Dude, okay, so I actually saw on your Instagram you were there the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome,
I've,
man.
I've gone to 4 or 5 classes now since I've been back. I
Awesome.
needed some time to heal, and I'm still not quite 100%, but I'm good enough to kind of roll a little bit light and easy.
Yeah.
But I think for me now, for the last 5 years, I've put actually maybe even longer when you really think about it. But let's say the last 5 years, every physical activity that I did had pressure attached to it,
Right.
had some sort of outcome needed for it.
Right.
I don't know if I want to put that kind of pressure right now. I just want to enjoy stuff.
Yeah,
You
man.
know what I mean? I just want to kind of roll, do that. But now from a awareness, fundraising, and financial perspective, definitely have some plans.
Nice.
I want to capitalize on what I just accomplished. So this is what it's likely going to look like, and we're going to start working on it in the next week or two. So we're going to be producing a show, and the show is gonna, and this is the rough sort of outline for it. The show is gonna be the run across Canada, but showing and expressing and sharing the stories of what happened,
Yeah.
right? So like so much happened during that run that it's impossible to kind of like me express in an hour and a half or an hour,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
But what we can do is create episodes for each of the days,
Nice.
hour and a half, and we have all the footage. Everything's been filmed from the entire run, like everything.
Nice.
And so now we can can be me and Glenn. We'll sit on, and this is the rough outline, but we're going to be talking about the benefits. We're going to talk about the run itself, what happened, what didn't happen, share some of the stories of the people that were there with us, bring them in
Mhm.
studio so they can share as well, and then also attach sort of science scientific research as it relates to mental health and mental resilience on what I was going through on
Mhm.
and actually how that actually improves mental capacity. So we've worked with the Canadian Men's Health Foundation. So they've partnered with Blueprint. Blueprint's a research that's been done by a psychologist here at UBC who basically can identify specifically as to what I just did on
Mhm.
how it's beneficial from a mental health perspective and how people can not need to run across the country, but use some of those methodologies in their own lives to help them with whatever they're struggling with.
With what they're going through,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's kind of the concept and idea of what we're going to be doing. It might look like an 80 sort of, maybe a full year of doing that. Working on book.
Nice.
That should be done hopefully in the next 6 months. So I'll write a book and then working on documentary of the run itself and maybe and still looking at what story we want to tell in that
Right.
documentary. But for me, the story of that documentary isn't about me, but it's more of a hero's journey where I was
Mhm.
to the people I met, the support I got, and then executing against the run and then finishing up. So that's kind of in a nutshell what the plan is, rough plan for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. That's I think that's huge. And I think in doing that too, man, like you're gonna be able to impact so many more people, going forward as well, right? Having something like that out that people can watch and relate to and learn from, right? That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for me, that's all I'm here to do now, right? Like, I'm going to continue doing certain types of things like this. Obviously, I've entered the public speaking space now, so
Hmm.
I've started now. Like last week, I went to go speak at a private school in Toronto,
Nice.
and all boys school, and speaking on mental health, man. A lot of these types of conversations that may not be happening enough.
Hmm.
And look, I'm not the smartest person on the planet. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of these things, but I do have some experiences that could be helpful, and I speak decent, so I think we're entering that space now. So we'll
Nice.
see what it looks like.
I think that's big because you're saying, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not this, I'm not that. But the thing is you have real world experiences.
Yeah,
And to me, that speaks volumes compared to, somebody with a PhD.
sure.
Like, and I mean, that's just my opinion, right? But
I agree. So sorry to interrupt, but I look at the last 5 years as me getting my PhD
yeah,
in what I do, right?
yeah.
And look, I could definitely like that's why I've partnered with various different charities and organizations who have those people, so we can
Hmm.
collaborate together to deliver the information from a perspective of someone who's done it, so like actual tangible
Yeah,
things, and then from the science perspective.
yeah,
So marrying the two, and so that's kind of the plan. And honestly, man, I just want to enjoy life now, man.
yeah, yeah, for sure,
I
for
just want to,
sure,
I want to, not take it easy. I'm still a hard charger,
for sure.
and I still want to grind, but I want to do it in a way that's fun,
Yeah, exactly.
simple.
You're like we were saying at the start, right? Like very purpose driven,
Yeah,
right? So you're kind of moving on to that next purpose now. And no, that's awesome, man. Like I think you've probably touched more people than you even realize through social media and like even through our listeners and all the other podcasts that you've been on and stuff. And you're going to continue to just do even greater things and reach out to more people.
one more thing I gotta say
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you said something that I should share. So I met someone about a month ago who listened to this podcast who said to me, "I heard you on that podcast."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No way.
yeah,
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man.
and I think he's applied to become a firefighter. I think he's in the process or something like
Okay.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure. I met him at in North Vancouver, was it? No, in Kits. So, anyways, I think he's a trainer or works at Innovative Fitness or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so he mentioned because I went there because they were doing like an event there, and I went there and met some of the people, and he was like, "I heard you on that podcast, man." And so he started doing something, I think he was doing like half marathons every week or something to raise money for cancer.
Okay.
So I guess in part what I did inspired him to do that, and then he heard me on the podcast.
Dude, that's awesome. That is awesome, man. Man, I'm happy to hear that because that's like I said, dude, like you're really reaching out to more people than maybe you realize, and creating like a very positive, impactful kind of meaning in their life, right? And just setting that positive example. Um, it's huge, man. And thank you very much for what you've done
Oh man.
and for all the organizations that you were able to contribute to, and to all the people you were able to stop and talk to. And yeah, man, we got to get you out on the mats sometime.
Yeah,
We'll
man. I'm
go
down.
roll a bit.
Yeah.
And once again, dude, thank you so much for coming on here, and to have someone like you who's willing to come and sit down and talk with me, and be so
It,
open and candid is it's huge, man.
no, well,
I'm
listen,
gonna go
man.
run another 5K, I think.
Well, I appreciate you asking me to come on, and I appreciate you reaching out. And I just want to say, like, I'm no better than anybody, man. Straight up. I'm just a dude who wanted to do something for myself, and it turned out to help other people. And so I'm not above anybody or below anybody. We're all the same.
Yeah.
And I feel like anybody who's listening to this can do what I just did in their own way, and perhaps even better. So so keep doing what you're doing, man. The podcast's killing. Just keep grinding, keep doing it. And anytime you want to have a chat, just let me know. I'll jump on anytime.
Oh yeah, dude, we will definitely be having you on more for sure.
Mm,
Definitely multiple times would be great, dude. But yeah, man, you're the man. And once again, thank you so much,
no
dude.
worries, bro.
Means a lot.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we have just created our Patreon program and it's online. We'll put a link in the description of this episode. It's got all our freebies on there. So it's got resume templates, the interview checklist,
The competitive edge checklist.
yeah, competitive ed checklist.
And we're also going to be diving into more in-depth interview episodes and hiring process stuff. And we're going to be posting it on there. It really does help us out because then we're able to pay Francesco for producing this podcast. If it wasn't for him, we'd be hooped.
You guys missed the part where we were just trying to turn this microphone on before this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we wouldn't be anywhere without him. So we'd like to start paying him a lot more.
And it's also going to be a way for us to just upgrade to better audio equipment, better cameras, better lighting, and all that kind of stuff to bring you guys a better experience with this podcast.
Yeah, and that was your idea actually, Damo, with the whole going over every interview question kind of in depth and
Yeah.
really getting into the interview panel stuff.
Yeah, we'll be going into that in really great detail, really breaking apart the questions and just talking about like what they're actually asking in these questions, right? And yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of info, a lot of really, really good info.
And if it's not, let us know. We also have a chat group in there as well on Patreon.
That's right.
So if there's, guests you want us to see, bring on, or if there's questions you want us to ask or talk about on the podcast, you're more than welcome to ask us on there.
Yeah, for sure. And like when it comes to those behavioral slash situational type questions, we can break down a question and talk about it for probably half an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Just one question.
Easily.
So there's going to be a lot of really good info on that. And like we said, it's going to really help support the podcast so we can upgrade better equipment and also keep Francesco around so that way there is a podcast.
Chaining him down to the table would be too cruel.
Yeah. Right on.